By the time the phone rang, the chair had already resigned, the vice chair had resigned, and the CEO was telling me that he also wanted to resign. The board secretary was off on sick leave, and the board was left in disarray. I founded the Wayfinders Group because I'm the person you call when everything is on fire in the workplace. And today I'm going to show you how to put out the fire so that you too can repair the damage. I started my legal career at a commercial food group. And in the 10 years that followed, I went from arguing over who owns the air in hermetically sealed chicken packets to conducting business deals in growth startups that regularly featured on the front page of the Financial Times. The common denominator about boardrooms in high-stakes environments is that conflict is rife. Now, believing as I do that there's always an opportunity to disagree well, I trained as an accredited mediator. And in the course of my practice, I learned something really valuable. Workplaces don't need crisis management or conflict resolution. They need repair. But workplaces are made up of humans, and humans are terrible at repair because we know how to accuse, we know how to investigate, we know how to punish. We even know how to make it look like we're addressing the problem without acknowledging that there is a problem at all. We are terrible at repair because we struggle to acknowledge harm. Now, perhaps you're someone who has reported harassment in the workplace only to find the person you reported has been promoted. Or perhaps you've been called too sensitive for calling out discrimination. Or maybe you've been fired for speaking up when you saw something that was wrong. I wonder how that made you feel. Perhaps intimidated or scared or anxious. Perhaps you couldn't make eye contact, or you wanted to avoid someone entirely, or stopped coming into the office altogether because the damage is done, the trust is broken, and performance is tanking. But in my professional experience, there's almost always a road back. And I'm going to show you a 4-step framework that will help you repair relationships and rebuild trust. Exhibit A: acknowledgement, apology, accountability, and amends. Now, acknowledgement is seeing the harm. I see that this happened to you, and that shouldn't have happened to you, it was wrong. An apology is not mistakes were made, or I'm sorry if you feel that way. No, it's less performative, more specific, understanding the impact that you had on that person, saying I'm sorry and letting that linger in the air unqualified. Accountability is owning the damage. It's also specific. Who, what, where, why, when. And amends. Making amends is for the person who's been hurt to decide what repair looks like, not their manager, not HR, but the person affected. Now, perhaps this sounds challenging. I would wager that it is. It's one of the most challenging processes that humans can engage in. In fact, these 4 A's are rooted in a discipline called restorative justice. And restorative justice is a process where an independent facilitator creates space for the person harmed to meet with the person who has hurt them to make amends. If you're the person at fault, this framework requires courage for you to face up to what you have done. If you're the one bearing the pain, you're not a bystander. This framework gives you agency to say what happened to you, how it made you feel, and what you would like to happen next. Broken relationships are an inevitability in our society, but imagine how our workplaces could be transformed if they committed to repair. From politics to publishing, healthcare to hospitality, we would save so much money, so much time, and so much relational capital. A few years ago, I was invited to witness a conversation between an employee and her line manager. Her manager had been publicly humiliating her in meetings for weeks. She had grounds to raise a grievance and instead invited him into this conversation. She started the conversation by explaining how it made her feel to be dressed down in front of her peers and strangers, how she was losing sleep over the situation, and how she dreaded every interaction with this manager. At first, he didn't say anything at all, but when he finally spoke, he said, "You didn't deserve that. I was under pressure and I took it out on you, and that was wrong, and I'm sorry. How do we move forward from here?" The employee, of course, thanked him for his apology, but said, "I need to know that this isn't going to happen again. I need you to praise me in public and censure me in private, but I also need you to show the team that you've taken responsibility for what you've done by changing your behavior." 3 months passed, and they were working in harmony. The relationship had been repaired, the trust had been rebuilt, and performance had been restored. That employee was me. I know the power of this restorative framework, and if I can use it to put out fires in the workplace, then so can you. Thank you.